You don't have to be like those around you. Well, what did they say? The definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. When we start talking about self-improvement, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be the way you are? Do you want to improve? Most people should want to improve. I'm trying to improve all the time. Okay? And I'm successful. I'm always trying to improve. I'm always about self-improvement. I literally invest in books on self-improvement. If there's a workshop or a seminar on self-improvement, I'm there. I'll go to it. Okay? And it might be something I'm pretty darn good at. I mean, but I'm still always trying to improve. Okay? Always. Always, always, always. Okay? I mean, a person who is dead serious about something, that's how they're going to be. Okay? If you're in the martial arts like I am, you don't stop just because you got your black belt. You say, hey, I've got a black belt now. Black belt's the highest belt you can get. Well, yeah, a black belt is, in most styles of martial arts, the highest belt you can get. But all you have is a first degree black belt. And somebody as serious is going to, first degree black belt. Are you kidding? They aspire to go way beyond that. You're far from a master. You got a first degree black belt. Aspire to get your second degree. When you get that, work on your third degree. And even after you reach mastery, always work on improving. Always. Physically, spiritually, mentally, knowledge-wise, experience-wise, you're always working on improvement. That's the analogy. You don't have to be like those around you. Do you? Do you means that if doing you is not working for you, don't keep doing that you. Change the you are and do the new and improve you. But don't do other people. And that's exactly what most people do, especially most people in poverty. They're exactly like the people around them that are in poverty. They have so much in common, and you really need to step back and take a look at them and also take a look at yourself and decide whether or not you want to keep being that way or possibly change the way you are. And I'm talking about everything that makes you who you are. Everything. From what you do when you get up in the morning, from the mindset you have, the attitude you have, the speech that comes out of your mouth, the way that speech comes out of your mouth, the urban vernacular that you use, the way that you look, the things that you do to fit into an environment which is at the bottom. And if anything, you should not be trying to fit in with it. You should be trying to rise above it. Okay? And if that is you, self-improvement sometimes can be extreme to where you totally do a makeover of who you are and become something else, something better. And anyone can become something better. I'm striving to do that every day myself. Now, let me take you to an ad that, let's see. I'm going to click on this. There's a book that many years ago was out there, and everyone at least saw the ads. They at least have seen the ads because they put them all over the place. And it was about something called the lazy man's way to riches. Okay? Now, let me just read this. Joe's famous ads. Joe Carbo was one of the foremost copywriters, headline writers, and direct resource experts of all time. Anyone living in Los Angeles in the 70s and 80s, that would be people like me, will remember Joe on late night TV and the ads he placed in print selling his book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. Joe's ads for The Lazy Man ran for years in every major newspaper and magazine in the United States and most large foreign papers as well. The ads were no different than anything, the ads were so different than anything seen before, the ads themselves became famous. Fun fact is that he wrote the ad before he wrote the book. He wanted to see if there was a market for the book before he took the time to write it. Was there ever? He could never have foreseen the impact The Lazy Man's Way to Riches has had on the lives of many people through many decades. And those ads were and are still studied, examined, dissected, and used as models for direct response marketing and selling throughout the world. Now, these are some of the magazines that his ads appeared in. Time Magazine, Popular Science. Let me click on Time Magazine. Too busy earning a living to make any money. It was a one-page ad that would run in a newspaper. This is it. Too busy earning a living to make any money. And at the bottom, on this basis, here's my $10. So he was selling this book for $10. Now let's click on the one for popular science. It says California millionaire wants to share the wealth. Now I want to talk about this ad, and I want to talk about the book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. I have previewed and perused the book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. I never bought the book, but how old was I at the time? I think I was about 20 years old. I joined a club, and it was young black people that were interested in creating wealth. And I found out about this club because I did what people are going to do. And this goes back to my mind map, where I talk about changing the way you do things and self-improvement. People that are serious are going to always be working on self-improvement. So when I saw this ad where they were looking for people that wanted to join this club, and that was for people that were interested in creating wealth, okay? And not any and everyone could get in the club. You had to interview, you had to qualify, okay? Now, at the time I was running a business, I was doing it successfully, I had a lot of ideas, and I was, so basically I passed muster and I was accepted into the club, okay? We were young entrepreneurs, okay? And one of the members in the club, he actually had a job at the post office. He had the book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. He brought it to one of the meetings. He loaned it to me, and I perused the book, okay? So I can talk about that, and I did get a lot out of it. And I would recommend the book. And I'm going to recommend the book to anyone that's watching this video. Now, I have intimated several times on several videos that I produce information products, that I am a writer, that I write and I publish self-help material, books, videos, courses, that type of thing. And I realized that a lot of people who saw this ad, California millionaire wants to share the wealth, would never buy it. In fact, I'm sure it wouldn't take much to get people to give a whole lot of negative feedback about, oh, it's a scam, they're just trying to get your money, there's no free lunch. If anyone's trying to tell you how to get rich, they're probably, the only money they make is the money they make selling the information, yada, 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 all that negativity. And usually it's preached by people who are busted. They are broke. They don't have a pot to piss in. Okay, so rather than just say, okay, it's not for me, they would actually try to discourage people who might consider investing their $10 in a book like this. They might consider the possibility that maybe I might actually learn something. Well, I'm going to recommend this book to you. Now, the first thing some people would think is, oh, well, he already said he makes money selling information products. Yes, I do. I make money selling information that I create. I also make money selling a plethora of other information products created by other people. I do it as an affiliate marketer. You probably think I'm going to refer you to a website where you can click on it and order this book or something else and I'm going to make some money. I made up my mind a long time ago that although I have multiple income streams all over the internet, online and offline, I created a video where I showed you one of my domain name accounts with GoDaddy, and it showed that I had I don't even remember how many domain names I have, 140 something, 150, 60, I don't know. But anyway, I have a lot of domain names, and each one of those domain names points to an active website that's making money. Every single one of them is making money successfully. And you probably think I'm going to point you to one of them so I can make some money. No, what I'm going to do is point you to a place where you can download the entire book for free, okay? And I'll put a link on the on this video so you can download the book. Whether or not you do it is up to you. Now, see, I'm making it easy, but I realize that even the majority of the people who listen to something like this, instead of realizing, okay, maybe this guy knows something, maybe he's trying to help someone. Okay, if I'm not selling you this book, by the way, it is for sale. Okay, and I could make money, but let me show you something. Let me show you something right now. Amazon. I have an Amazon account as well, where, oops, Lazy Man's Way to Riches. Here we go. All I would have to do is refer you to the link, this link right here, because I'm actually on my Amazon account page. Now, if I put a link on this video and you came to this page and you went to this book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches, it was selling for $10 back then. Now it's selling for $30. And if I referred you to this website and you clicked on this and ordered this book, that'd be yet another commission for me. Here's one for $51. Here's one for $20. Here's one for $10. If I really was interested in doing that, I'd refer you to the one that would pay me the most money, which is this one, $51, or this one for $30. And I would make money just because you bought it. Okay? But instead, I'm going to refer you to a place where you can get it for free. Now, some of you would do it. Most of you won't. Some of you will read it. Most of you don't. I'm not disparaging my viewers. I'm just saying that's human nature. That's the nature of people. I realize that. This particular book, the main thing I got out of the book, it means different things to different people. This book comes highly recommended. The purpose of my video right now is not to endorse or recommend this book, but because it helps people with one of the things I am talking about on this mind map, which has to do with starting from zero and self-improvement and developing a different way of thinking, changing the way that you think. That's one of the primary things I think a person would get out of this book. That's one of the primary things I got out of it. But one of the main things I got out of it myself was that it gave some specific information about direct response marketing. And I started using that information. But it also helped me as far as the positive thinking aspect that we need as well. Okay. Now let's just go through the book randomly. From the list, select what you feel is the other quality all real successes have in common: luck, family background, social achievement, basic intelligence, etc. Take time to examine the choices carefully before you read on. Let's skip down a little bit. So this is like a workbook. This is something you actually work with. You answer questions, you take tests, and it's really going to help you if you are serious about helping yourself. Chapter 3, fear is a factor. Although few people ever realize it, fear plays an overwhelming and important role in the early child conditioning. And since we have that early conditioning to thank for our later ISI, you want to know what that is? Get the book. It is important that we understand two unique qualities of fear as a conditioning factor. Fear is always a hindering force. Fear is generally a buried force. But anyway, it's an excellent book. It comes highly recommended. Like I said, it's a workbook. And if you download it, print it out, I'm giving you a resource where you can get it for free. Although I could have just as easily recommended that you buy it. And I know for a fact that if I had done that, some of you would buy it. And when you have as many income streams as I do, let me tell you something. When you have as many income streams as I do, any one of those income streams, any one of them, if it makes you even $50 or $100 or $200, even in the course of 1 year, you can ultimately make a phenomenal amount of money. Let me ask you a question. If you had 1,000 different income streams, and on the average, each of them made you $100 in a year, which is nothing, or $200, let's do $200 in 1 year, what would that average income be? You would take the $200 you make in a year, you multiply that by 1,000, which is your average, or the amount that you have, that's $200,000. Okay. So on this video, if, I don't know, just a few people a year, based on this video that you're looking at right now, were to go to this website because I'm recommending it and buy this book, I could make a few $100s in commission off of just a few people. So that adds up. But like I said, I'm giving you a resource. And I guess the reason I'm saying this, the only reason I'm saying this is because I want to eliminate all the variables of negativity and the excuses that people have when even you question the motives of people that are trying to help you. Look at this. I got so much out of this book. And the main thing I got out of it, going back to the mind map, is what it says about direct response marketing. And when you understand that, you'll realize that whatever product, skill, service, or anything you have to offer, I don't care what it is, you could make a phenomenal amount of money, or at least way more than you are now, if you start using direct response marketing. You want to know more about that? Get the book. I don't care if you're someone, your name is, the only skill you have is braiding hair, but you do it good. Okay? You could start doing direct response marketing. You could start creating little signs. You can go to, Oh my God. See, now I'm getting to tutorial, and I did not want to do this. I did not want to do this. Yard signs. Let's see. $99. Okay. Yard signs. You could basically go to a website like this that sells yard signs on the cheap, and for $85 you could get 100. Okay, that's for the signs themselves. And the signs could basically have a picture of someone with braids, and they could say, I do braids or we do braids, and then it would have a phone number. That's all you would need. I do braids. You could even say something like, I do braids, best price, and then a phone number. Now, if you're, in an area where there are a lot of African Americans, who are most people that do braids or extensions or weaves or anything like that, you will definitely get calls. You will definitely get business. And even if that's the only marketing you do, that is direct response marketing, where you get a direct response from the ad for them to take some type of action, whether it's to make a phone call, go to a website, email you, send you something in the mail. But that's old school when you have people to send things in the mail. Today, it's all about direct response, inbound telemarketing, where basically you have a phone number, and then either you answer the phone or you have a voicemail that takes their name and number, and then you call them back. And you can apply that to anything at all that you want to do. Anything. It's just a matter of getting the information out there. And the yard sign, that's just something I just thought I'd do, spontaneously. But there's so many other ways. Matter of fact, I have a course on this. I have an entire course that deals with this. And like I told you before, I'm not using this channel to market or promote anything about myself. In fact, I'm going out of my way to stay anonymous. So if you find my course, you're going to find it on your own, because I'm not even going to refer you to it. But I do have one that deals specifically with all types of outdoor and offline marketing that a person could do to even drive traffic to an online business or a website or an affiliate program or whatever it is you want to do. Bottom line is, it's not that difficult. People make so many excuses. And my main reason for referring people to this book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches, in fact, let's just look at some of the commentary about it. It's got 25-star reviews, one-star. Matter of fact, let's go straight to the one-star review. Okay. But first, and I want you to know something. Anybody can go to Amazon and leave a review, whether it's good or bad. Look at some of the reviews. I read his book twice a year since 1974. This person is saying he has read this book twice a year ever since 1974. Twice a year, he keeps reading the same book. This person says, within a month, I had started my own highly successful mail order company, which I have just sold 33 years later, having had a lot of fun. 2 reviewers made a similar statement. As far as this one, I read his book twice a year since 1974. 4 reviewers made a similar statement. This has been so true in the work I have done using Joe Carbo's The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. 2 reviewers made a similar statement. Let's read the one negative, 1-star review. Let's see what that person says. The book was a fair read. After applying the strategies and adding some belief, I expected some positive results. However, as is true of most books like this, it all resulted in nothing but a letdown. The second part of the book is about starting a mail order business from your kitchen table. That didn't work either, as it cost more time and money than was indicated. I guess this book was written when people lived simpler lives and $1 was worth $1. The book probably sold very well by mail order. I guess if you write your own book on mail order and find a way to promote it so today's society will buy it, you could take The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. Lots of luck. Okay, I did not know what this was. It's not too bad. Sounds to me like a person who has sour grapes because they tried something and didn't work. And instead of taking personal responsibility and trying again and maybe asking people that it did work for what he did wrong, he's just making excuses and trying to say that the book was not good. But even he is not being hypercritical. Now let's see what the 2 comments are. I suspect that there's going to be 2 people telling him why he's full of crap. First one says, I suppose it's because you disbelieve. The whole principle works on belief. Touche, I agree. This one says, I made a lot of money and had considerable success by applying the principles outlined in the book. In fact, I paid outright for a Rolls-Royce Corniche in 1974 within 18 months of buying the book, and after I had set up a very successful mail order business, a big step from a Citroen 2CV. I recently sold that business after 33 years of fun. The system is simple. The execution requires stickability. The reviewer has not done his homework or applied himself. Joe Carbo was already a multimillionaire before he wrote the book. As Charles Atlas said in his bodybuilding course, do it. Do not just read about it. And by the way, you notice he said Joe Carbo was already a multi-millionaire before he wrote the book. And by the way, I believe Joe Carbo is dead, so he's not behind any of the positive feedback. This person is telling it like it is. If I were to give a review, it would be one of the positive reviews. But anyway, that's enough of this book, because it's not really about this book. It's about finding mentors, right? Even if it's books that you read. Let me see. There's another book that was very popular, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. That book has 300 customer reviews, The Power of Positive Thinking. 200 of these reviews are a 5-star rating, 38 are a 4-star rating, 13 are a 3-star rating, 17 are a 2-star rating, and there's 32 that are a 1-star rating. Okay? Overwhelmingly positive. The Power of Positive Thinking. There's another book, Think and Grow Rich. And by the way, I started reading these types of books when I in my late teens and early 20s. And I guarantee you, and I can assure you, that the majority of people who even bother to buy, purchase, or read these books are far more successful than the majority of people that sit around and make excuses and will tell you why these books can't help you. So you have successful people telling you that these books have had a big impact on their life, and you have unsuccessful, broke, poor people without a pot to piss in telling you that these books, which they never read, by the way, and every other book and every other person who talks like me is full of crap. We're trying to scam you out of your money. We don't know what we're talking about, or there's some reason why it doesn't apply to you. The broke people are giving you the negativity. The people that are successful are giving you the positivity. You choose what you prefer to listen to. Out of 954 reviews, 5 of them are a 5-star review, 62 are a 1-star review, 2 are 24 are a 2-star review, etc. You can see it for yourself. There it is, Think and Grow Rich. I also have that book, which I read. There's another one, which I also acquired at the age of about, I don't know, I think it was 19 when I got that book. It was by J. Paul Getty. It's called How to Be Rich. And everything I'm showing you right now goes back to the mind map, where I talk about self-improvement, taking advantage of free resources, public libraries. So everything I'm showing you, you can actually obtain for free at a public library. And like I told you, I found the book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches, and I'm giving you a link where you can download it. Self-improvement, libraries, positive thinking, find a mentor, change environments, change peer association, be willing to change. That's what these books that I'm referring you to, that's what they are about. They are about change. They are about self-improvement. They are about being a better you. J. Paul Getty, by the way, was one of the wealthiest men in the world. Let me see, How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty. It's been reprinted numerous times. You can pay $45.68 for this one. You paid $32.95 for this one. $7.99 for this one. Has 39 customer reviews. Now, the main thing I got out of J. Paul Getty's book, How to Be Rich, is one thing that he said, which I'll never forget. He has 954 customer reviews. Oh, that's Think and Grow Rich, so that's the wrong book. But the main thing I got out of J. Paul Getty's book, How to Be Rich, was a statement that he made. And I'm going to paraphrase it. Essentially, he said, anytime there is a major change in society, he's referring to a society like what we have in America, it does not matter if that major change is good or bad, positive or negative. It does not matter. Anytime there is a major change in society, that change, whether it's good or bad, will bring with it the opportunity to create wealth. And there will always be people who capitalize off of it and take advantage of it. And of course, there will always be people who are devastated by it, and all they do is decry woe and gloom. I never forgot those words. And I always began to see everything as an opportunity. When the AIDS crisis, remember this was in the, when I first came across the book, it was about 19, it was before the 80s. It was in the late 70s, I think, when I came across the book, How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty. So when the AIDS crisis hit the scene in the 80s, and that's all people were talking about, thinking about, all I was looking at was remembering what J. Paul Getty said and trying to find the opportunity for me. And because I was already involved in mail order marketing, that was actually one of the first information products I created, was what I called an AIDS survival kit. Acronym was ASK. And the reason I called it the ASK, or AIDS survival kit, because it was all about knowledge and information. And what I did is I researched it, I purchased books on it, I found articles, I got all the information I could on the AIDS virus. I packaged it as an information product, and I put it out there. I started marketing it, and I called it the AIDS survival kit. Basically, it was giving people the things they need to know right now and the steps they need to take. And believe me, there was a lot of information, fear, paranoia, and misinformation out there. People were thinking that you could catch AIDS if somebody sneezed who had AIDS, that it was an airborne pathogen, that you could pick it up that way, or if you shake somebody's hand if they have AIDS, you could get it, or if you stayed in a motel room and somebody in AIDS that had AIDS and slept in that bed, that you could get it that way. There was all types of misinformation out there, and there was not one good source that had all the information. That people didn't know how they could avoid it, how they could prevent it. They were afraid, husbands and wives afraid to have sex with each other. People were thinking that a person could, even if they didn't realize that there had to be sexual transmission or some exchange of body fluids. There was a lot of knowledge that wasn't out there. So early on, because of this paranoia, I saw an opportunity, created information products, made ton of money that way. When Saddam Hussein was talking about, actually not Saddam Hussein, but when the media was putting it out there that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction possibly, and that he certainly had chemical weapons. And when we attacked Iraq, there was a lot of fear that Saddam Hussein might attack America with airborne chemical weapons. So there was a lot of fear. So a lot of people started buying gas masks. They started trying to get information on how to protect themselves from chemical weapons. And there was just a lot of paranoia out there. Matter of fact, in the city of Los Angeles, I saw a lot of shops that actually were set up almost overnight selling gas masks and that type of equipment to protect people against chemical weapons attack. Now, those businesses did not stay in business very long, but I'm sure they never planned to stay in business very long. What they planned to do was to make a quick fortune off of the paranoia of chemical weapons attack by the many people that were looking for some way that they could respond to their fear. Opportunities are always out there. And forward thinkers, smart people, they look for the opportunities. And I'm telling you, I got that from J. Paul Getty, who had been the richest man in the world, because that's how he made his wealth. Okay? That's how he made his wealth. And he made his wealth in oil, real estate, things like that. He made a fortune when other people were afraid because he saw the future. Okay? So you're not going to get the type of mentoring and good advice and positive thinking, everything you need, listening from other people, again, who are in the same rut you are in and think the same way. It doesn't mean that because they're in a rut that they're going to stay there forever. But if, like I said, if what you are doing is working for you, keep doing it. If it's not doing it and you think you're going to have any major change, that, my friend, is the definition of insanity. We are all on a trajectory. We are all on a course. Now you have to ask yourself, if I continue on the course I'm on, going the direction I'm going in, staying on the same trajectory, where am I ultimately going to end up? You need to ask yourself that question. And if you don't like it, you need to consider changing courses, or at least getting a roadmap that will show you the path to where you want to be, to get you from point A to point B, to get you from nothing to something, starting from zero to wherever it is you want to be. Even if it's just being independent and self-sufficient, or possibly being wealthy, whatever it is you aspire to do, okay? If you aspire to get someplace, you need a map showing you where that place is, or you're just going to be wandering aimlessly. You also need a vehicle that will take you where you want to go. What are you going to do? Hitchhike? That's what most people are doing. They are hitchhiking, riding on the coattails of somebody else. And the bad thing about it is they don't even know where the person is going that they're hitchhiking with. They just take the first ride that comes along. They have no idea where it's ultimately going to take them to. And because they're no longer where they used to be, they're content. Sometimes they're actually going backwards and they don't even realize it. They're hitchhiking because they didn't have a roadmap. They did not have a vehicle. What's a vehicle? The vehicle is the thing that can take you where you need to go. Whatever your vehicle might be. And I would admonish anyone, if you're starting at zero, you're going to need several vehicles. Okay? So the very first thing you might want to do is get any job you can get, even if it pays minimum wage. Or do whatever hustle you can do, and I don't admonish or respect any illegal hustle, especially drug dealing and crap like that. I don't even have any respect whatsoever for those who bootleg videos or DVDs or anything else. When I'm approached by a bootlegger, my response to them is, I don't buy stolen merchandise. I have no respect for what they do, none whatsoever. Okay, but the main thing is, even if you got a job that was paying minimum wage, you could always start saving a percentage of that, and also at the same time, that doesn't mean, obviously that minimum wage vehicle may not necessarily take you where you want to go. It might not take you very far, but it makes sense to get it and to do it. It will take you someplace, because even a minimum wage job will give you some type of job skill, some type of work experience, and it will also give you some type of money. You can always take that money and parlay it into something more. If you want to do some of the other things I am talking about, such as what I got out of Joe Carbo's book, Lazy Man's Way to Riches, which is about direct response marketing. You want to get involved in mail order or something like that. You want to start doing tiny classified ads, drawing in, getting response, or maybe advertising on the internet. You're going to need some money. Well, actually, you don't need some money, because you can do all of this without any money. But it's just going to be harder. But if you have some money to invest in where you want to be, you can get there that much quicker. And in order to get the working capital that you need, you may need to start with a job. And you may work that job for years and then work your business on the side, as many people do. I have known many people with 9-to-5 jobs, even government jobs, that might pay them a annual salary of maybe $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, $80,000 a year, $70,000, and that's their job. But in fact, I've known people that were earning maybe $45,000 and $50,000 on a job, but they were rich. And they kept that job, but they were rich. They were rich through investing in real estate or operating businesses on the side, or really getting good at investing in the stock market, or trading commodities, or something like that, trading on the Forex market. I've known a number of people like that who kept their job, they maintained their job, but at the same time, they created wealth on the side, they made a lot more money, multi-millionaires in some cases, but they still had a 9-to-5 job. A 9-to-5 job that paid a modest salary. A modest salary. In fact, a very good friend of mine, he's a multi-millionaire now, but we worked together at one time, and I think he was making, of course, this is years ago, so that job pays a lot more now, but at the time he was only making about $20 an hour. And, he wasn't a millionaire at that time, but he became one within a matter of years, just through his investments and his real estate and the other businesses he was doing on the side. And now he totally works for himself. Actually, he left the country, moved to Jamaica, and he's doing really good there. His name is well known in that country. But that's how people do it.